which it's too late to back out of the recording. And now I'm going to share my screen. And I have not cleaned up my screen. So we'll see what happens. I usually don't have anything incriminating on. Let me...
Holy guacamole. Sorry, I just opened the issue with the ID stuff.
We're almost... I think we've got a lot of those. But yeah, that would be awesome to tackle. Let's check that out. We have a lot of those. So spec, JavaScript starts with a J, and then the IDE. Oh yeah, we got a handful left here.
Handful, yeah. The issue is like, I don't know, 20, 25 themes.
Yeah. So maybe we should do this one. There's other ones. We got frequent items. This is a small one. This is really small. You could probably do that one. You got filtered search. This is one that came up just a few minutes ago in a review. I was hoping this one was in Jest. What do you all think?
Yeah, filtered search is based on it's the newer or the old component, because we just got the new filtered search on GitLab UI. So maybe
this
those tests we can.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
This must be old stuff.
So maybe we leave that. There is a good chance that they get cut off in favor
nice.
of the...
Okay, that's a good idea. I think the ID is going to be the biggest hit.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. So we have a script for this. And if any of you are really good at Bash, that'd be great, because I don't totally know how to do this, where I want to copy all the files in here into the front end IDE folder, but the front end IDE folder already exists.
You can use MV. That's fine. It's merged.
It's merged? Okay, I didn't know.
Yes.
That. Okay, so I could do IDE. Do I have to do like star or something?
No, nothing. Just slash at the end.
Yep. Just slash at the end and spec front end IDE, and we're good?
Yep. Depending on how put or not put the slash, you may put it inside the folder. Yeah, I think like this.
Let's see what happens.
Otherwise, we have
Git. Yeah, put it inside of IDE.
So with the slash at the end of IDE.
Okay. Let's try that.
I think.
And I should probably check out a clean branch.
I hope you didn't reset something that you were working on, like bam.
No, this is actually, so I check out a lot of the MRs I review, I check out locally, and then I have a script that like squashes all the commits, reverts it, and then re-reverts it, so I can review all the changes right here. I usually end up forgetting that I've done that, and making like changes on top of all that and stuff. But anyways, all right, let's try that again. Moving everything from JavaScript's IDE. You're saying I should put a slash here?
Yeah, one of the two combination.
My goodness. Well, it's
that's why
put it in IDE.
I just did it. How did I?
Maybe do you think I need to do a star? Like move everything in IDE star over to spec?
Yeah, maybe.
IDE? Yeah.
I'm just going back on my command history. This is no, not going.
I haven't had really great experience doing this, but I know Lucas started doing a different kind of way of doing it, where he would copy, and then rather than putting it in here, he would create one called like IDE new, and then we would just work off of that. I mean,
you can either like move it inside IDE and just drag and drop inside VS Code one folder up, right? Like run the MV, like the one that you.
That is a good idea. Okay. Here I am inside of IDE, spec, front end, IDE, yeah.
And just drag and drop everything one up, and that's it.
No, I don't want to move components into components. Man, I want to move it into here. Move. I don't want to replace it. All right, forget this. All right, we're just gonna. All right. See, this is, anyways, I'm gonna have to learn how to do this, because
I think you can, if you do the move command and you want to move like all the files in the folder, I think you can do move-v, and then you put the path with the star, and then you put the path of the folder you want.
So then I can do id/star.
Yeah, I think, and then a slash at the end. I think that will work.
I don't know. All right. Well, I've revealed too much about my bash ignorance here.
Yeah, we all contributed to that. No worries. Like, do it like this. It's gonna work.
I know. I'm gonna look it up and I'll post this afterwards. But anyways, I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, we'll just move it to.
I think you moved it already, right? You didn't do
Did I do that or something? No, it's wanting me to.
And
you should create this. What's wrong with you?
No, you moved the original ID in one of those experiments, I think, right?
You already moved something? Did I delete a whole bunch of stuff? Oh, it's saying I don't have any of the original one because I got it. Mm. All right. This is not getting off to a good start, but that's okay. Because soon.
Well, it's Friday, so I think that's good.
Yeah, I haven't had coffee today yet. It's coming though. My wife is lovingly fixing a pot. Okay, here we go. We've moved all of it. Then we have a very cool script that'll open up over here in a new window so we can take a look at it. The Jest is codemod, which has different rules that we transform and look for and do some abstract syntax tree parsing. When we run this script, we have to run it from this directory because it wants to use this directory's node modules. But that's no problem. Here's in the README is a little instructions for how to run it. And as we run it, we might find, oh, we can just add a quick code mod to fix something. And if you could do that, that's fantastic because it's going to fix it for everyone that's trying to move things over to Jest. One specific one that comes to mind is we fixed some of our aliases that we import in Jest and Karma are different. And so it's easy to just map those. Thanks for the coffee. Oh, man, that's been fantastic. But let me get the latest of this project. And let's run it.
I didn't pull this in a while. So probably there is some stuff that is solving for me and I'm doing manually.
You know, I kind of hope so, but I haven't seen a lot of activity on it. And I haven't been active on it. I have known that in a few of these pairing sessions, we've made changes to it. Mm-hmm. But it seems like those don't ever end up in master, which they really should. And we shouldn't feel like we have to wait for a strict review or something here. We should try to just trust each other with this because it's technically a playground project. Okay, but you see I'm inside, the big kicker is I'm inside here, I'm inside the code mod folder, and I got to go back up to my GDK. I still have it in this enterprise edition split. GitLab, spec front end, ID new. All right, processing 37 files. Okay, 13 unmodified, 24 were changed. So now let's just try it out. Let's see which ones maybe we get some for free. Let's see what happens.
Usually the one that don't have view stuff, they go in for free.
Yeah, so I'd suggest maybe let's run it on a directory. Like maybe we can run it on lib first. Let's see what happens there. So I probably haven't installed packages. Just watch spec run IDE new lib. See what happens. I'm gonna grab my coffee real fast.
Dun, 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 dun.
I can feel the bash secrets coming back.
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh no. What's my fans are spinning.
Some infinite loop is going on. Yeah,
That
definitely
sure
too long.
sounds like it. Yep, they're spinning even louder now. No, it was just that long.
Oh my God, double. Let's check it. Something is going on, right?
Yeah, we could try running it again. Looks like diff controller and
It was modeled that took 31 seconds or something, right?
it was I think it was this editor spec. Let's run just the I think it was this one. Let's just try running this one again. It could have been just having to like parse all of the Monaco editor stuff.
Oh,
And like yeah, because now this is running a lot faster, but it's also failing. I thought it passed.
yeah, it was modeled that was going slow. I think in common.
You think it was
modeled? Yeah.
Okay, let's check that out.
Common.
Yeah, thank you. Common model spec.
Frederick, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. Both me and Paul talk a lot. Don't feel shy to talk over us, please. Otherwise, you may not get a chance.
That's good to know. Then I'll just talk all the way then.
Thanks for saying that. This one's super fast and it passes. I am promoting it immediately.
Awesome.
It is going. I'm not even gonna look at what changed. We're moving it. Okay. Only 315 more to go. Model manager is next in this common folder.
Hello, VS Code. Good morning.
This one's good too. Let's move it. These are all happening very fast.
Gonna have some freebie.
Yeah. Update imports. No, I'm not gonna import the thing. Okay. That's great. Okay. Hey, I feel good about this. So editor spec seemed like it. I thought it passed. I thought I saw it green. But it seems like it's not. And this is going to be an interesting one. I like maybe for us to dive into this one. Because Monaco editor is manually mocked for Jest. Because the Monaco editor does not play nicely with Jest, like at all. I'm actually noticing though, it looks like this is failing because of
dirty diff worker.
This is the production code. Oh, it's a web worker. Oh, okay, we can fix this. That's not a big deal.
More mocks.
More mocks. Let's distance ourselves even further from production. Yeah, we have yeah, let me just jump into wherever we're doing this. Where is this? New dirty diff controller. That's probably why the controller ones are failing too. Diff worker. Yeah, and so yep, it just has add event listener. Let's see what other API this thing has. Worker dot post message, remove event listener, terminate, add event listener. Okay. We've already mocked a worker before, so we can kind of copy that. I could look in, I think, in a front end worker. Yes. Yep. Here we go. We have our tree worker that we've mocked before.
It's actually the same, huh?
Yeah. So it would probably be cool to just create one mock worker that we just kind of reuse in these files. Let's go ahead and do that. That might be kind of neat. So I would put that in helpers maybe. What do you think, Fred or Nico? So I'm thinking
I'm not sure if it's weird that it's here in helpers and then we consume it through mocks, because I don't know. Yeah, it's fine here.
Okay. We could put it in here. This has an interesting history behind it, this folder, that I don't know if it'd be really clear, because this actually does something really similar to what underscore mocks does. For some reason, we weren't using this at first, and we kind of did our homegrown mocks folder. So it wasn't really like reusable mock stuff. It was meant to do, here's some manual mocking, which is why I'm hesitant to put it inside this mocks folder. But it could be helpful there. But helpers, I like to have this one large unparsable list of random things we use. So so let's call it web worker mock. Does that sound right? Please stop me if I'm doing something that I would regret or it doesn't sound good.
Until this doesn't become a factory, we are fine.
What's wrong? What's wrong with this? This to be disabled. I'm not a fan of disabling.
It's unnecessary evil.
Yeah. Remove event listener. So it's cool if we do put this in one. If we do put this in one consolidated place, we could change this so it's not just stubbed out methods, but we could change it where it actually kind of does something if we feel and kind of looks like production if we feel like that's helpful. But for right now, I think we're good. So what I'm going to do here then, I'm going to import web worker mock from helpers web worker mock. And we are going to export default web worker mock.
Can you do it in one go? Export default web worker mock from.
Can you do that? I've always had a hard time with I've always had a hard time with
yeah, I'm actually not sure either, but I typo.
For some reason I've always had a hard time with doing the export default. I think you can do it like this. I'm not entirely sure. And it's not
worker.
Maybe this is it. Does that seem like that might this we'll see what happens. Let's do it for our IDE thing. So we want to mock this is coming in lib diff worker. So over in our here where we want to do CE, we want IDE, oh gosh, IDE lib diff.
Diffs.
Is it diffs? Let's see. Diff worker. It's just it's just diff. Okay. So I lost it. Okay. ID lib diff, and we're gonna call it diff worker. And it's gonna do the same thing. So we could at the Jest config level. Oh, look at that. Okay, nice. At the Jest config level, we could say anything that we import with underscore worker, we want to import from web worker mock. That might be what we actually really want to do. The only reason I'm doing this at an individual basis is I don't know if we really need to put like some individual specific behavior here for some of these stubs. But maybe that's something we want to do a test level mock. Like maybe that's something I'd want to do at the test level, not globally. So I can foresee us eventually removing these files and doing an alias where if I import with underscore worker, we just point it to that web worker mock. But for now, I'm keeping it split up because I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be helpful or not. But we're so close now. Let's check these others out.
I think explicit is good because avoid us to have to write documentation about it.
Yeah.
For now.
That's very true too. Yeah. Okay. Create diff instance. Let's see what's going on there. Create editor instance. Okay.
There you go. What is the difference?
There's a couple of properties that are not there.
These at the end are different.
Mm.
Oh no! I know why I didn't do these at first. Oh no!
Why?
This is some wonky singleton stuff.
Oh,
again.
Yeah. These values come from let's go ahead and dive into it and see what happens. Oh, what? Why am I in a TypeScript file? That was.
So this is Monaco stuff, right?
Oh, I guess I did just jump into Monaco stuff. I kind of wasn't hoping to jump.
I didn't know Monaco was in TypeScript.
Is it? Oh, maybe just jump me to the type definition.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Spying on the Monaco editor, I expected. Okay, here's what I want to jump into. And obviously VS Code is not going to help me out. So let's just do a search. All right, let me keep you open. Yeah. Close others. So here's where we pass in our options, and that's what we want to confirm, is that these options are what we expect. But check this out. We have this options we pass in through a constructor.
Well, can we also have this.
What'd you say?
Is the class in the test, is it the editor instantiated in that block, or we are reusing what we have above?
Let's see. Let's see instance. Oh man. Okay, let's go to the top. Here we have our instance.
Okay, it's created that.
Yep, we use the editor.create, which gives us this singleton thing. Maybe we need to just not use .create. Is that the only time we're using .create? Oh my gosh, then we do it over here.
You just do new instance and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
But the test is disposing though, so does it mean that dispose is not doing proper stuff?
I don't think dispose. Okay, so here's the thing. This.instance. Dispose is going to dispose of the instance, but it's not going to dispose of our singleton.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be related to it as well. I would suggest not using the singleton method here. What do you all think?
Yeah, or either that, or you can do this .instance equal now in the after the dispose.
And the after each.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that out. Editor instance equals null. It's still sad.
And it's still different.
Maybe maybe it's supposed to be different too. I don't know. Let me see. Let's dive into it and see where we get some of these things, or let me see what's going on. So if we go to create diff instance. Could have been called with. So at this point, we should have been created with no options. So we're not passing any custom options to this thing. Here, we are given like a theme, VS white, like and I think, my opinion is I think these are coming from because Karma tests would have kept this singleton around the whole suite. So I think a separate spec passed in these options and then they were stuck there.
But in that case, if you run the spec alone, this will fail, right? If we want to prove that, we can just swap branch, run the Karma spec alone and see.
That is a great idea. Let's do that. So I should probably
stash or commit, whatever.
Commit. Yeah, my stashes are I seem to lose stashes.
Like a squirrel, basically. You're stashing stuff and you never find it again.
Yes. Fe Jestedus IE. All right. That was a good idea. There you go.
Do you know that the squirrel brain gets bigger during winter so they can remember where they eat all their food stashes?
Really?
During the
No,
summer?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is like trivia, some trivia while we are checking out the branch.
Okay, I'm on master. We're talking about running editor spec on Karma individually. This is a really good check. Yarn run Karma spec JavaScript IDE lib. Oh gosh.
Editor spec.
Okay. Yep. Oh no, it's not in diff. Sorry. Okay.
Maybe the file on its own and the test on its own as well, to isolate that the other tests are not putting stuff inside it, right?
The file, I'm running just editor spec right now.
Yeah, but it has few describes, right? And they, actually, we are correct in our assumption, right?
Yes, we are completely correct. I hate singletons, man.
Don't tell me.
Me neither. Like, maybe just for the record.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. We should go back to our branch and continue on our path of. Oh gosh, I lost it. Okay. Editor spec. So this needs to actually be treated as a single source. This needs to be treated as the truth. That's great. We're almost close to this. This is exciting.
So basically we can remove the unnecessary attributes.
Yep.
Because they.
Yep. And yeah, here we go. We don't need render side by, and so these actually get passed by our component, which is what's a little scary, and then they get persisted.
Yeah.
Render side by side was false actually. So render side by side was false. Render white space. All right. That's it.
So the provocative question, aren't we testing the defaults like this? Like going in and specifying this thingy, right? Because we are creating the instance with, I don't know what is the creative instance, if it does any big change.
You're bringing up some good questions. What are our default options? Where do they come from? Yeah, maybe we want to just see, hey, do you get past the default editor options? That might be neat.
Yeah.
That's not the right path.
Definitely no.
ID
lib.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we were thinking, hey, maybe let's just see if I probably don't need to spread this, but let's just see what happens real fast.
I mean, if that's the case, it looks more maintainable to me.
I don't know where this stuff comes from.
But I think the real question is, do we need this stuff? Because if it used to be polluting the global space.
No, we also pass other things to it. So that's
during the diff is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We also pass other things to it. And so render side by side, I guess we're assuming is going to be false here. Read only, I'm just going to put something. I don't think it's read only, but oh well. Oh, it's technically read only is false. Oh no, read only is true by default. Okay, yeah, that passed and that did it. That's a lot cleaner and that looks nice. And it also highlighted, hey, we're not testing that we actually do the right thing if I do read only or not read only. Sounds like a problem for another day. Here's one super concerning. Cannot add model because it already exists. This is some singleton stuff.
Yay.
Monaco is a singleton.
It makes sense because it's expensive, right? For Monaco to be a singleton.
I suppose. Perhaps we aren't necessarily, maybe there's an error that's happening when we try to dispose it. Let's log that, and I want to focus in on this, not with the capital F. I want to focus.
There is a console log right under. If different from test, what?
You know, sometimes you don't want all this.
You want to log on. I mean, the log's only for production.
Yeah. It passes now because I've isolated it. But if I maybe do 2 of these, it will fail. Maybe that's what's happening.
Yep. The first goes in and the second goes not.
So here, and it must be, I think it's because, so here we're creating a model. If I go to create model.
But this model manager is
and nothing is ever right, and nothing's ever disposed here. So that makes sense. I'm creating a model and we haven't disposed anything. Model manager, is that a Monaco thing? No, that's an us thing. Returns a new model, and then I'd add onto my model manager a disposable thing, and I dispose things. Do I ever add model manager to us? I'm just saying, do I just need to call my dispose?
I think it's in the constructor. So model manager is persisted again between well, why?
I think what we could do we ever reassign model manager here? I don't think so. So let me look. If I look for a model manager, yeah, we don't ever reassign it. So what do you all think of doing this? Disposable add model manager.
Oh, it scares me to touch source file on a Jest to do stuff.
My tests are passing.
I know.
So what was happening, all right, and that's a really good point. What we could do then is in our test, and no, you bring up a really good point. In our test, here when we
manually dispose it, right?
Yeah, and model manager dispose. That might be the safest thing to do.
So this is actually something that happens not continuously, but can happen when you're doing Jest to-dos. What I've been doing when I see controversial stuff in the source that is complicated is that I rearrange the test and then I try to open an issue for the people that are working on that piece of source to look at. Look, the test highlighted this. Are we relying on this behavior or we should be fixed, right?
Yeah.
But is this the right approach? Should we take like everybody's owner of everything and just fix it and own it? I don't know.
I think it's really hard when I don't even think the author of this would really know the right step. Like this has collected a level of dust already. Mm-hmm. I think it makes it hard. We're talking about life cycle of resources, like who owns what, and that hasn't clearly been really defined here. And like, these are tough problems that if you can really, I think if you feel 90% confident, like, okay, doing this is really safe, I've done the research, here's why, go for it. I agree with being extra careful of, we could have something that's relying on this behavior. And so, yeah, with doing these test migrations, ideally we wouldn't touch our production code. And maybe we could create test helpers. And that's kind of the pattern we haven't really established yet, is shared test helpers. And then those test helpers of like, oh, well, I actually need to call these 3 methods to dispose, is something we could resolve in a more focused effort. But I appreciate you calling me out of let's just do it here in the test, because I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
But
So
if you feel confident like fixing something, yeah, do it. And we've done that, and we've moved things to view, and yeah, all of that stuff. So
yeah. So what worries me more than ownership is feedback loop, right? So if I break something in my stage, I'm gonna get a feedback that is broken like immediately, right? So sometimes 5 minutes later. But if I break something in create, right, the feedback is gonna hop in few times before they pinpoint me and say, hey, you did change that line. Why? Right?
Yeah. Technically the ID stuff, I'm on the create editor team, so this is stuff that the code that I would get pinged on. So that's an interesting point too. It's probably worth dropping in the Slack channel, like, hey, I touched these files. Like, if you see anything, like, it might be this. Like, that might be helpful as well. Too.
There might be something also in terms of process, and as in, if we're moving files around for testing and we know there's like an issue, or that we should change a file, maybe it has to do with the way we do the AMR is a bit different, and we try and get them an expert, and then we add like an extra layer of review where instead of being like, I'm just moving files around, it's like, I'm actually moving code around, and then who could help me just validate this, and then everyone's aware of what's being moved and why.
Yeah, I would suggest also, yeah, getting someone that has domain experience with these, especially these legacy classes and stuff. Like, yeah, that would be a really good call. I agree with not touching this because this is notoriously flaky, and I'm feel much safer just editing test code. We've talked about this before. Our pipeline optimizes if there's just spec file changes. Our pipeline's optimized. It doesn't run all of the RSpec stuff because it doesn't need to. So if we can keep these MRs just focused on spec, there's another benefit there. But if we see a bug, especially if it's a user-facing bug, we should all feel comfortable to fix it for sure.
Yeah.
This seems to be working now. Let's see what happens when I get rid of these.
What's happening? Yeah.
We just got 2 left. Render side by side. Oh, this is going to be a, oh man, this is a, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do I do echo?
What'd you say?
Do you have echo from me by any chance?
I don't have an echo for you. Do you have an echo from me?
No, my headphones died, or better, my Bluetooth died, and so.
Sorry, man. Yeah, no, I can't help you. So this is some spec. We're watching the width of this, changing whether we do render side by side or not. And so clearly I don't think this spy on property stuff is going to work. We might be able to just write to it. Do you think that'll work? Is this a good idea? What do you think? Nope. Oh, because it only has a getter. All right, then let's just create a property for you. Define property. Is there a Jest spy on property thing?
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna take a look while you type that.
I don't think so either.
No. There is an issue to open it and they say no.
I don't see why you should be spying on properties. Boom.
Yeah, this Stack Overflow say define property. So
okay.
they're good to go.
I personally like doing this stuff at the top level. I like doing this kind of wonky setup stuff, either in a helper function or at the top level where I expose the spy that I can then just write to in my test. So I would do something like let's call it the node offset width.
Yeah. Do you want to call it spy?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Let's call it spy. Node offset width spy. Oh, okay. We'll probably do it like this too. Yep. And then we'll just mock return value 0 for now. And then, yeah, we'll be a little bit more explicit later. Oh no, what's wrong with you? Is it not? Oh, because get DOM node isn't, oh, because I haven't actually created this thing. All right, since I don't actually, it looks like, wait, is it because I'm doing, what's instance? What's going on there? Is that what, was I doing that before? Instance? I was.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. It looks
it's because the class calls internally its own instance, and the test call it instance, right? So
that's lovely. So I'm just going to wrap this in a nice little helper called set node offset with, and that's where we'll do this. And we don't need this thing anymore. And we have my val. Val.
You can move the let.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Way more readable now. Set node offset width 800. We can even parameterize this if we wanted to, but that with only 2 specs, it could be a little overkill. But I like it.
Do you want to pass the instance inside the function helper instead of relying on the existence?
And that's really, I think this comes down to preference. I like pure functions. I don't like functions that reach outside of itself, but I find it really helpful with these test helpers and readability when we go ahead and we're all looking at the same subject.
Yeah,
so
that's also true.
For these test helper functions, I don't mind that they're not pure functions.
Yeah, it's like wrapper find or the documentation suggest finder, right?
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I've seen. I've seen some patterns too, where if you do actually have like a shared helper, like we're going to test this whole component flow or like an integration test helper, those classes keep the common instance and like they make some optimizations based on, they're more stateful, but it makes your tests really, it can make your tests very readable, which is nice. But hey, we did this. That's so exciting. Let's move it. Lib. It was just in lib. That's awesome. Okay. Great. So now I think we're on to the next one.
Controller spec.
Yeah. Diff. Oh, I left the console log here. Oops.
And that's when you don't commit.
Yeah. What's
maybe.
Oh, lib diff. What do you think, Frederick? Do you think we should keep going down this path, or are you?
For JSL, yeah. Sure.
Okay. Hey,
oh wow.
This one passed, and it's had to do because we did that web worker thing, I think. So we're good to go here. This is great.
So you may end up doing this during like committing phase. I found that sometimes the gestures generate false positive, but mostly with view components. When it's like it will run like it's defined on a wrapper or this kind of stuff. The wrapper is always defined, but it's not actually what you're looking about.
Yes. Yeah.
But this is default JavaScript stuff, so it should be all good.
We should probably add a linter for, I would rather see us like not, there's a handful of matches we probably should never use in Jest that are like, one is something like has match, which doesn't actually do what I think it sounds like it does. And also to be defined, like we should add linters for some of these because yeah.
Yeah, to be defined is stupid.
Yeah.
At least in our context.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Lib decorations. Oh,
Also think that even semantically, instead of to be defined, the only use case would be to be not defined, undefined, right? Like
yeah.
that makes more sense than to be defined. Like you don't want undefined and everything else is fine. But
Yeah.
like saying to be defined is just saying it's so flaky. Like I've never seen that actually work properly.
And that's so one thing that came up recently in a review, I've kind of grown to, if I'm doing an expectation and it's a dot not, in my matcher, I try to be as ambiguous as possible. So if I'm saying like, hey, was this called? I won't do dot not to have been called with. I'll do not to have been called, because it's good to be really explicit when you have a positive match so that we don't have as a large case of false positives. But the opposite is true when you have a not in front of it. So that's one practice I've been trying to do as well. Anyways, all right, now I'm just ranting, talking about interesting test stuff. But we're done with lib. Do you want to go to stores? Maybe?
No, what we can do in 10 minutes?
10 minutes? I think we could do it.
Oh, fine.
Let's see what happens. Oh, do I have it sounds like maybe, or was that someone else's calendar event?
It's mine. It was mine. It's an AMA communication best practice.
Okay, we have some alias stuff. We are going to write this Jest as code mod because we've written it so many times already, but we have not committed it to master. So let's please do this. Spec aliases. So updating the code mod, this is a lot of fun. Use this thing called AST Explorer to actually see what you're looking for. And we are looking for an import declaration. And we are going to update all of our import declarations that have something like spec helpers
to helpers.
And then everything else that just has spec, it needs to be Jest. Yeah. So let's write this out because this comes up all the time, and I'd like to just finish it. So I'm going to copy this thing. I'm going to require it here. Spec aliases. Okay. And we are going to find what kind of expressions are we looking for? We're looking for import declarations. Import declaration. Yep. And we don't even need to do like a replace with. I think we can actually, something we discovered last time was that we could just modify it in place. So we could do something like,
but you need to filter for the one that starts with spec and then helper.
I was going to do just a search and replace on it,
like
for all of the imports, because I'm not super comfortable with this API, but we could try to do a filter.
No. Search and replace sounds good as long as you are explicit with the slash.
Right, that's a good point. So let me console log what we get because I'm still not feeling totally comfortable. But let me jump into stores. Okay, we get we get a lot of stuff. We get value, source, value. That's what I want to get is value, source, value. And that's what we're going to modify. So value, source, value. That's the thing to change. And then I'll say something like map to Jest aliases, some path. Okay. Replace regex. We like regex.
Oh.
Do we like regex?
It's a love-hate relationship, I feel.
Okay, so I want to replace spec helpers with helpers and then replace. I love regex.
Spec helpers start with
it shouldn't start with anything. It should just be the beginning of the string,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Spec
But in the imports in Karma, does it have the initial slash? I don't remember.
Let's see. I've lost it. No, it's just.
Okay. And I'm confused why you are moving spec to Jest.
Yeah, so spec technically is the root Karma folder. And so you look at this one, this is looking for, or where did my failure go? Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. This is looking for, we're trying to go back to like the IDE root of our spec. Like, and sometimes we do this where we look for not just helpers, but we're trying to go to like, I want to get some mock data from diffs or whatever. So I go to my root test directory and then go to that folder. So here, what we really want is to be Jest instead of spec.
And we have an alias for that?
We have an alias for it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm losing my place. Okay, but I think that's all we needed. I've lost my place again. I'm not in the right. Okay. Let's try to run it now and see what happens.
Why this in index instead of spec alias? Oh, no, my mistake.
Yeah, obviously I did not do this correctly. Yeah, that wasn't the right way to do it. Let me console log one of these again. And let me exit right away. Okay. Here we go. We have this node path. We get the value, source, value. So I would expect to see value.source value. It should have a whole lot of these. No, that's not what I want to. Sorry.
Do you need to check if it's defined first? Is it crashing because sometimes it's not defined?
Oh, I'm not returning here. Thank you. Yeah, that was going to be the problem, I think. We can console log. I'll get rid of console log. I feel 100% certain this is going to work. Oh gosh.
Of course. But it complains about an expected token.
So if we don't pass the right thing to it, it'll yeah, let's try something like this. Let's see, before, after. Let's see what happens.
So
looks like a handful of them are working. It's like one that's not working. Let's see if
can it be like an import star or import from, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Merge request spec. So let's see if there's anything interesting there. Merge request spec. IDE news stores actions merge request spec.
Maybe dot helpers.
Oh, it's because, yes. For some reason, I saw this earlier. The Jest codemod did something really funky here, where it added like that .0, and I think it's having a hard time just parsing it in the first place. Sorry, here we go. So I think this was not had to do with our script. Yes, it didn't have anything to do with our script. It had to do with when it first ran. Our third party that we use for transforming a lot of the like Jest.spy on, a lot of the common Jest alias stuff. It does something really weird sometimes when we look into the args of a mock. And so it actually produced bad JavaScript, which wasn't parsable at all, which failed when we tried to rerun it, which is fine. But this thing should work now. And we should be able to see that. And gosh, I keep losing my place. I have a handful of VS Codes open. Yeah, it worked. There we go. So there's spec helpers. Yeah, that's bad. we're doing some weird spy on dependency stuff. That's going to be an interesting one. But then here we did Jest. Yeah. So I have confidence that this is working. Let's commit it and push straight to master. Update or add spec alias transform. It's probably best to make a merge request, but I don't know. And maybe I've protected it so I can't push to master. Yeah, okay. All right. Add spec alias transform. Great. Okay. Well, we're about at time. I'm going to create an MR for this and for I'm going to go through the stores. I don't think we'll have a whole lot. Let's see what happens after we do. We did just make changes to the stores. Let's see what happens after we run that. There's probably some more we get for free or not. Yeah, nope. This is going to be another another situation. I might poke around for a few minutes at it, but this was fun. Thanks for hanging out and for helping me out.
Can you mark down on the issue whatever is left over to make, or maybe lock the full issue so I don't pick it up tomorrow when I forget, or Monday when I forget that we started working on it?
That's a good idea. When I create the MR, I will update the issue with links to what's being handled in this case.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to try to do these stores, so it should be mostly just the components left. But this was good. I was really nervous about the Monaco editor stuff, but I'm glad we resolved it. Thanks so much for hopping on. You guys have any closing thoughts or remarks, or?
Oh, good.
Okay. Thanks for driving and everything. So now I know how these sessions work. I'll come more often.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you all have a great rest of the weekend. I'll catch you all later. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.